Okay. Likutei Moharan, Torah Chav Beis, Choisam Mitoch Choisam, a seal within a seal. We are holding by Siman Ches, number 8. So we said the principle that in order for a person to hear the actual voice of the Chacham, of the Tzaddik, or the actual voice of his neshama, and not the reverberations that the voice brings up from the side of the tumah. A person needs to be close to connect the body to the essence. Again, when we say body, we're talking about the entire this worldly existence, awareness, with the nefesh and the ruach, and the intellect of this world. So now comes the question, how do you become basar? How do you become, flesh that serves the essence? Lavo lebchinas basar, and to come to that, to become a basar, to become flesh, hu al-yedei hashimush. This is through servitude. Al-yedei shemishamesh es ha-chacham. You serve the chacham. You help him out. Whatever it is that drive him around, you help him, you get that all the chachamim, this is the ikar kabbalah of Torah is shimush chachamim. They said that the Gemara talks about in Masechet Sefer about nefel or loro, or a stillborn that has not seen the light. Chazal said this is a Talmid Chacham that learned, has the Torah down pat, but was Mishamash Chachamim, but did not serve under the Chachamim. Any Rav that wants to be a Rav, a serious Rav, has to have Shimush. He has to be under another Rav and not only look what the other Rav is not only look at what the other Rav is doing, but also whatever it is, serve him and work with him and so forth and so on. You will notice a difference in the audio quality in a minute.
A minute?
Yeah, go ahead. Careful. There you go. Okay. It's fine. There you go. It's a different world, huh? Unbelievable. What will you think of next? ברוך אתה אדינו אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה מדברו. By being Mishamash the Chacham, the person becomes a b'chinas basar to the Chacham. So in the Siyach of Kodesh it says like this, and this is what is explained in Torah Chav Beis, that by Mishamash the Tzaddik, this breaks down the coarseness of his body. And Anish said that the main shimush that we can today be Mishamash Rabbeinu, how can Mishamash Rabbeinu? He says is be very careful that we should not cause any derision or insults to the Rebbe's name through us, because of us. We should not bring dishonor to Rabbeinu. If a cat will be makpid, that the Rebbe's covered will be elevated. Now, that said, it must be understood it must be understood. What's the pshat that the Rebbe's covet will be elevated? When people ask during the second period of his life, I'm not exactly sure what was the instant that this actually came about, but he was walking with his tribal in the street. Nobody walked with his tribal in New York when the second Rebbe came. Nobody was tribal. So people are looking at him. So in the second Rebbe, people don't realize that he had a great sense of humor. People look at him like, this Scrooge, he wasn't a funny guy, but he had a great sense of humor, so his gabbai was embarrassed to walk around with this tribal. But he was walking around with this tribal, so he walked in the street and people were laughing at him. So he told this gabbai, you see, people are laughing at you, that you're not going around with this tribal. Then he had no children. So once by bris, he was the sandik, and he took time, after nobody took the baby. He took time and this and that stuff. And says, if nobody takes him, I'm going to take him home. Don't worry about it. I'm going to take him. So the Satmar Rebbe said, the fact that they make fun of us, that when we're doing what we need to do in the Avodas Hashem, that's not Chilul Hashem. Chilul Hashem has nothing to do with whether people who are far from Yiddishkeit or Goyim or whatever it is are laughing at us or think that what we're doing is lowly or funny. He says Chilul Hashem is Averis. He says, they think that I'm dressing funny. Look at them. They're painting their hair purple. It's like I'm not responsible, that I don't have to fit to their taste in clothes or whatever. That's not Chilul Hashem. In other words, to shout by davening and to go to the field and people are making fun of it, that's not lowering the Rebbe's covet. Lowering the Rebbe's covet is verkehrt, is the opposite. If we don't do what we need to do, if we talk by davening, if we become a coward, that's lowering the covet of it. So this is what they talk about. Okay. So the same thing, when the body serves the neshama by doing practical mitzvahs, the body becomes basar to the neshama, becomes flesh to the neshama. And when the flesh is on that level, in other words, when a person becomes flesh to the chacham, he hears the side of the chacham and his own boldness and toughness gets broken down. And the body becomes basar to the neshama, and he hears the sound of the sighing of the neshama that breaks his crudeness further. And with this, a person is able to come close to the chacham and to receive from him the illumination and the asagas that he's massing. And same thing when a person is able to azaz the kedusha, and he can withstand the shepherd that prevents people from going to Tzadikei Emes. Then this brings about the pasuk as V'Yerushalayim mevasar eten. That the word mevasar means, one who announces good news, good tidings. But mevasar is oisios mibasar, from flesh. V'Yerushalayim mevasar etens, like that mevasar alludes to b'chinas basar. Hainu, what it mean mibasar? And mibasar animal. In other words, the flesh becomes circumcised. The circumcision here denotes the breaking down of the azas of the body. The orla represents the crudeness of the goyim. That's what they are. That's just their essence. It's crude. It's low. It's blunt. And circumcision is taking off the bluntness, the crudeness, the basar nimo, and that breaks down the bluntness of the basar. And Paperosa says, let's see, okay, Paperosa writes as follows. That one should say that what the Rebbe is saying here is as follows. When a person gets to be a bechina of basar, this bechina is like the mevaser of the re-erecting of Yerushalayim, Kirya Ne'emona, a faithful city. Because in the beginning, a person was very far from this. Because it was so far from the holiness of one's own neshama and from the holiness of the tzaddik, of course, until he didn't even hear the sound of kedusha. And the fact that you see the words doesn't mean that you hear the kedusha. I mean, there are plenty of people saying psukim. It doesn't do anything to them. It doesn't reach them. So how a person can break down the bluntness of his body, the aza sitracha, and to come to the roim of the kedusha and to complete the emunah. Now, when a person was zeicha to complete the emunah, the Papa says he was zeicha the bechina of basar. Now you are basar, Baruch Hashem. You will be able to hear the voice of kedusha. This will bring to shleimus emunah, to be in Yerushalayim. So the basar and mevasar Yerushalayim are actually one and the same. Remember, we're supposed to. The ultimate goal is to reach Yerushalayim Kirya Ne'emona, which is a full emunah, the kedusha, to receive the chachamim, the toichacha, right? For them, the admonishment, to bring us close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Nishlam Yerushalayim Kirya Ne'emona. Ne'emona obviously talks about emunah. That you merit to come to achieve emunah. She klalis kedusha. Emunah is the totality of kedusha. That is the tachlis of everything, of all the mitzvahs, of all the Torah, whatever it is, masim tovim, it is to come to emunah. Shem kabel mitzadek yado amiti. This is what you receive from the true tzaddik yado amiti. It's not possible to come close to them. Kim alidei azus the kedusha. A bluntness and boldness the kedusha. Shubchinas kol hakolos the kedusha. This is all the sounds of kedusha. This allows you to break the bluntness and boldness of the defilement. Shubchinas azus haguf. That's the bluntness of the body. And this we are to come close and connect yourself with the tzaddikim. This brings you to a complete emunah. Yerushalayim is a faithful city. It's a faithful. He says when you reach the emunah, you make the outside. You have created the outside seal, right? That surrounds the inside seal. That keeps the chitzonium out and prevents them from feeding off, the din Torah, chas v'chalil, making it a very severe problem. So it is therefore found that the person needs, as is the kedusha, boldness and assertiveness, the kedusha, for three things. First, so a person should be zeicha to come close to tzaddik yador and escape the authority, of the roim sitra acha. Those that, so, and you have to stand against them and prevent them from taking over you. And a person, and a person zeicha through this, his own voices of Kedusha, the sound of the screen calling out and crying out by davening and learning, the sound of sighing, the sound of shofar, and the sound of singing the Kedusha, and so forth. This is all as the Kedusha. That's point number one. Point number two, in order to break down the bluntness of the body, the boldness of the body, which is so strong and bold in Taivas, so that the neshama can let the body know from the different ha'oras and asagas that it was masig, is also through the sounds of Kedusha that we just mentioned. And the third one, in order to break the bluntness of the body, so you can come closer to the tzaddik and get from him the ha'oras and the asagas. So again, to be miskav to tzaddikim and prevent being overwhelmed by the false tzaddikim, to have the neshama, to hear what the neshama has to say to you, and to hear what the tzaddik emes has to say to you. These are the three things we're talking about. So ad kan we will learn for today. But what I actually want to say is that yesterday we learned Sipur Maisis. So we mentioned in the Maisa of the Ben Melech and Ben Shifra that they exchanged children. At the very end, when he comes into the city, he's supposed to change the name back. The name was the state with the clever king and the silly state, and it was exchanged. He's supposed to, to the clever state and the silly king, and he's supposed to switch it all over again. The first thing is they bring him into a garden. This garden has all kinds of metals growing there, gold and silver, whatever it is. And whenever anybody goes into this garden, he's being chased and whatever it is, and he's being cut and being bloodied, whatever it is. And the main thing is the person is fayuk, he's being chased, he's being persecuted. So he asked, is a person being beaten? So this is the main thing, is he's being persecuted. He doesn't know what persecutes him. And he saw that outside the garden there was no gate. Such a garden doesn't need any shmir. But there is a picture of a form of a person. And the Talmud said that's a king that used to be that during the days of those kings there was peace. He understood everything depends on this man. That when a person goes into the garden, is being persecuted, he doesn't have to do anything, have to run or nothing. Just stand next to this, and he went in, he started being persecuted, he went and stood next to this person, and it was fine. And everybody was amazed. This is not only this, you take that person, put it in the middle of the garden, everybody can come in and out. No problem. So we spoke about that particular union. This garden represents life. A person in this world really has everything. He has everything he needs. He has everything he needs. You were born with all the kelim that you need to fulfill your tachlis. The reason why you were born. 100%. Every person feels, if only I had more ambition, if only my IQ was higher, if only I looked better, if only my wife was so and so, if only my children were so and so, if only this, if only that, then the world was created with two types of spheres. The spheres, one of the type of spheres, the igulim. It says, what is the eagle? What does the circle signify? That every single point on the eagle is the same distance to the center from all sides. That means that all the creations of HaKadosh Baruch Hu were created equally perfect for what they need to be. So a guinea pig was created perfectly to be a guinea pig. With equal perfection that the horse was created to be a horse, and the camel was created to be a camel, and the person was created to be a person. You and I and you were all created, and everybody was perfectly created to fulfill the role that we need to live in this life. The only reason why we don't do that is because we're fayukt. We're being persecuted by what? From the outside, the needs of this world, and the inside, from within us, we're on dimyonis of what I shoulda, coulda, woulda, instead of being who I am. The minute a person stops and say, I'm fine, just the way I am, then it's no problem. You don't have to run anywhere. You're scaring me.
I'm sorry. I finished the myself.
Okay. This is only possible when a person stands by the tzaddik. When the tzaddik, if you're without the tzaddik, then it's comparative. You know, it's like, it's me compared to him, compared to him, compared to him. You know, those are less than me. You know, it doesn't satisfy me that more than them. Who the heck they are? You know, they're like nothing. You know, they're not even human. They're like human cockroaches or something, whatever it is. Those that are more than me, I'm jealous of them. You know, and with me, I'm never happy. You know, so what do? So I demean these people who are more than me. Notice how much easier it is to melamed zchus and for people who are lower than you. But people that are bigger than you, you know, with this, that, only with the tzaddik. If you bring the tzaddik into your life, even if you don't understand what he's saying, because nobody understands really what he's saying. We understand what he's saying, like our madrega, but we don't really understand what he's saying. Only he understands what he's saying. Nobody does. As the Nosson says, these diburim, the only one who understands them, those who said them. You know, this madrega. But he says, you can rely on my koyach. You do what you need to do. When you realize the only thing you need to do is just do what you need to do, that's it. You can relax. The Yetzer Hara in Torah Aleph is cloaking itself in mitzvahs. Look at you. That's the way you daven. That's the way you learn. You call that davening. It's not a daven, it's a joke. You call that learning. This is learning. My kid learns better than you. I mean, what? This is the Yetzer Hara. So what? So I'm not supposed to worry about it at all? No. What are you talking about? That means that, okay, like go ahead and do a various chas v'chalil, fakir. Instead of worrying how much you are incapable of doing, you should daven day and night to rejoice with the good things that you do. Because if you are happy with the good things that you do, no matter how small, the sky is the limit. The sky is literally the limit. And this is possible only with the koyach of the tzaddik. When you're close to the tzaddik gives you the eyes, look into yourself and to realize the true value of the good that you do. Daven for it, ask for it, with the koyach of the tzaddik to see the good in you, the good that you do. Baruch Hashem. You have tzitzis. You're wearing, look at it, you went to the mikveh today. You're davened. You have a beard, you have payas. Ashrech to be, and to, because when you feel, when you actually, when the bluntness of the body, you know, is broken down, suddenly you hear the voice of the neshama. What is the neshama telling you? Somebody's telling you how beautiful you are. How great is every single thing, every single, because Toiv, that's what Nosson says, and we learn in Ches HaShachar, Halacha Aleph, the Toiv is the Kodesh Baruch Hu himself. The Nekudas Toiv is that the Rebbe talks about, that's Hashem himself. So when you do something good, That's HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. It's perfect. If you were to rejoice for that, nothing would stop you. Shem Yazol. Please do the honors of shutting